Welcome back to Andersen Acres, and we're getting smooches from the pony. Always smooches, and here comes Arwen. Hi, yes, I know. Oh, you guys are so awesome. Yeah, you guys are awesome. So we are here today because I wanted to talk about getting your miniature horse from an auction or a farm sale. Okay, hi, baby. You're getting a little round. Getting under that's getting a little... She's all round. Anyway. Last time we talked about getting your miniature horse from a breeder. Today I wanted to talk about getting them from an auction or farm sale, because if you are in a rural area, there's probably farm auctions and farm sales all around you. You might not know it, but they're there. So I want to talk about auctions first. Auctions are exciting, lots and lots of fun, and sometimes you can find like a rose among the thorns or a diamond in the rough. It's also risky. So there are two types of auctions that you might attend. One of them is a dedicated miniature horse sale or a dedicated horse sale. Miniature horses pop up in both. Okay? These are usually promoted and supported by breeders, and they often have consignment requirements. For example, the horse probably has to be vaccinated and may have to be registered. There might be reserve prices, so you're not going to get a pony for $100 kind of thing. These are real professional events. They're often quite marketed, and they are very often invite only. So you might have to be invited to them, and often they're broadcast online so you can bid online. These are not your typical auction. They typically only have horses. They tend to also have like a preview so you can learn about the horse you're interested in and stuff like that. And there's Arwen. So these are not really a typical auction, okay? They're an auction in that you're bidding, but you know a lot about the horse beforehand. They are often already registered and on and on. So that's actually a great way to get a good horse at a decent price. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes they actually are quite expensive. Hi, Arwen. Yes, you're my girl. So you may or may not have a dedicated horse sale in your area, and minis may or may not be a part of it. Maybe you have a dedicated miniature horse sale in your area. We don't have dedicated mini sales. We do have dedicated horse sales where you can get some pretty awesome horses. But again, you're bidding, so you may get a good price, you may not. And it's pretty easy to get caught up in the excitement and how much you want that horse and to overbid. Farm auctions are a little bit different. They're usually small town events. And they're usually not only horses. Usually there's a little bit of everything there. So they'll have a lot of different kinds of animals. So you might want chickens, you might want horses, you might want donkeys. Usually your auctions will have a lot of stuff available. And sometimes they'll publish a list of who's coming and who's offering what, but they don't often have that because a lot of times it's just individual consigners showing up and putting their animals up for auction. If you're savvy and willing to gamble, you can score quite the deal. And you may be able to give a horse that needs a home a really loving place to be. But in a regular farm auction, not a specialty sale, the animals are often not top quality. Okay? They probably have a reason for being there, and you want to ask yourself, why is this particular horse at this particular auction? Why? Look how dirty he is. Oh my God. But why is this pony at the auction? What's up? Okay? You also don't always have the time to take a good look at the animals, because sometimes you can't even preview them at all. Sometimes you show up and you can't even take a tour of the animals that are available. They're just in the auction ring one at a time, and you just bid or don't bid. So it can be kind of a time crunch, and you don't always have a chance to think about it. You might get caught up and you might spend too much. That happens at all auctions. We've all done it. It's easier to fool a buyer with a farm auction because they might say he's registered, and then you buy the horse and you pay for the horse and you don't get any registration papers. So that sucks. They might say he's been vaccinated, but you have no proof of that, or it turns out he's not. They might say he's in good health, and then you get him home and you realize he's not, okay? He's not in good health. Hi. Yes. So it's really easy to fool people, and it's often a place to dispose of problem animals. However, if you're savvy and know what you're doing, you can score a beauty. So I'm not saying don't go to auctions. I'm not saying don't. I'm saying be aware, take a good look at the horse, really be careful and understand you may not get exactly what you were looking at or what you were looking for. Okay? There are also farm sales. So they're similar to an auction where people set up kind of a booth instead, though. So instead of auctioning, you're paying the price the person wants. The benefit here is you often have a little bit of time to think about it because, yes, you're there on that day. You have to buy it that day or you're not going to get it. But you can often walk away for 20 minutes and think about it, unlike in an auction. Unless another buyer comes in and buys it out from under you, which happens, it can actually be a good way to do it. We love farm sales here. There's lots of farm sales here. And we go often. Sometimes we buy, sometimes we sell. I like farm sales more than auctions, but auctions are more exciting. Okay, auctions are hilarious because you get to bid and it's a lot of fun. But farm sales I find are a little calmer and you're more able to decide exactly what you want to spend instead of getting caught up in bidding. So you can absolutely do auctions and farm sales to get your mini horse. I also want to spend just a minute talking about rescues. Rescues are an awesome place, okay? I absolutely, if you can, encourage you to rescue a mini horse. There's not a lot of them in our area up for adoption, but when there are, someone takes them in pretty quick because they deserve a good home. So, how do rescues work? Well, rescues, basically, the pony is going to already be vetted because in most rescues, the animal sees a vet before they go up for adoption. So you'll already be vetted. They will maybe come with papers, maybe not. Like, that's going to be a 50-50 one. A lot of ponies in rescues do not come with papers. Most of the time, they don't come with papers because they didn't come into the rescue with papers. Most rescues, if the animal came in with papers, they'll give them to you. But, you know, in a rescue, a lot of times people just don't give you the papers when they turn them in. They just don't, because they don't want someone reselling that animal for good money. You know, it's kind of a weird thing. Anyway, if you can rescue a mini horse, you absolutely should. The only thing is, you probably are not going to get exactly what you're looking for. So if you're waiting for a miniature horse that has driving experience so that you can drive and pull a cart and stuff like that, you might be waiting a while because the chances of something like that coming in to the rescue are pretty negligible. So rescue if you can, but if you're really dead set on what you want, then you may not be able to rescue. So rescues are definitely an option. I don't know about your area. In ours, we don't have a lot of mini horses up for rescue, up for adoption. But check out your local rescues, especially if you're in an area where there's lots of mini horses, you might get lucky. Check them out. You don't know. So those are some of the places that you can get your mini horse in addition to a breeder. Where you go depends on what exactly you need, right? So give it a shot. See what you can do. See who you fall in love with, because sometimes that's what it is. But that is about it for us here today. I wanted to make a bit of a shorter video just talking about farm sales and rescues and auctions. Next week, we're going to talk about sourcing your mini horse online. There are some pitfalls, but also some benefits. But that is for next week. For now, we will see you tomorrow.